We are back with more on unemployment and new jobs. We have Chris Rivera from Guilford Works, Wake Forest law professor Marie-Amelie George, and Will Graham of Graham Personnel Services. All right, Will, let's start with you first. Someone was asking, are truck drivers still in need?
Truck drivers are in very high demand right now, absolutely.
And Chris is shaking his head yes as well. So yes, we're talking Guilford Works, we're talking in the Graham Personnel Services as well. I know that you have a whole list of jobs that are open, so let's kind of quickly take a look at that and kind of go down what industries those are in and where.
Sure, you bet. So the majority of them are in the manufacturing, distribution, and logistics. So we're currently hiring this week for more than 100 jobs in the Thomasville area. That's machine operators, assemblers, or forklift drivers. These are very standard jobs that you see in a manufacturing plant. In Greensboro, we have about 80 job openings, also with machine operators and material handlers. In Kernersville, a little more than 65 openings. That's on your warehouse and logistics. Supply chain really is what it comes down to. Asheboro, we have about 55 assemblers. And what we mean by assemblers is those are people that are working in a team putting things together. High Point as well, about 40 plus jobs on the warehouse workers and assemblers. We also have a lot of call center jobs open that you can work from home. We do a lot of temperature checkers, so we have a ton of customers that are hiring for that as well. CNC programmers, several accounting jobs open as well. So grahamjobs.com, come check us out. We'll be happy to try to place you.
I think it's really interesting that you have lots of work that is remote as well as in person. So no matter what your comfortability is, you can find something. Chris, this person is saying, are there online courses happening that can help you walk through best practices for interviews? It's been a while since I've had to do a job interview.
Yeah, absolutely. So as our system, our NC Works Career Center is closed to the public, we started to develop a catalog of different virtual workshops that would help equip individuals to get reconnected to the workforce. That includes interviewing virtually, how to recreate your resume, and all of those things. Individuals can go to guilfordworks.org. There's a calendar of events that have links to those workshops, and we are working to upload those to our website as well, so individuals can view them on demand.
Okay. Marie-Amelie, this is a question about an appeal. It says, I put an appeal for being denied unemployment back in October. What can I do to speed that hearing process up?
I wish there was something you could do. Unfortunately, appeals are taking an inordinate amount of time, just months right now. The best thing to do right now is to collect all of the evidence that you need for the appeal hearing. So if the reason you didn't get unemployment was because DES says you didn't lose your job due to COVID-related reasons, if you can show texts from your employer, or emails, or social media posts that say they closed because of COVID, that kind of evidence is something you're going to want to introduce. You want to get that together. The other thing you want to do is make sure that DES has your updated contact information, because if for some reason you do not get notice of the hearing because they don't have your correct address or your correct phone number, you cannot reschedule it just because you miss it. So it's really important to make sure your contact info is up to date.
And to pay attention to those dates. Make sure you're looking at whatever's coming in the mail. Make sure you're looking at your profile online to make sure you know what's coming up. Chris, this person is asking, can you clarify, beginning March 14th, does everyone applying for unemployment benefits have to start actively going out and searching for work and keeping records for those job searches?
Oh, no, that's part of the looseness. And so the way that we interpret the executive order, and part of the flexibility that the governor is calling on the division to exercise here, is how individuals are looking for work and how they're documenting it, how they would need to present it upon request. So individuals can look for work in person. They can call around, soliciting, opportunities. Certainly they can use the internet to do so. The key to it is that the individuals need to log where they applied, to whom they spoke with, on what date they made that application. But it doesn't require people to move about to look for work. It just requires them to look for it.
Right, and they can look for work in different ways. I think you said virtual job fairs are an option.
So part of the flexibility, and I apologize for keep going to, flexibility here, but it was littered throughout the executive order. Under normal non-COVID environments, individuals that were required to look for work had to look for 3 jobs, and the division allowed one of those job searches to be satisfied by participating in a workforce development activity or an employment service activity, such as virtual workshops, job fairs, and things like that. We anticipate that they will apply the same logic in this new executive order, meaning that if individuals attend virtual job fairs and submit applications, certainly that would satisfy the work search requirement. However, if prescribed or participating in a virtual workshop, such as the previous viewer had asked, under normal circumstances, that would satisfy one of the work search requirements. So we're waiting for guidance on that.
Mm-hmm. And again, we are talking in, this is what we think is going to happen, what we think is coming down the pike. DES has not put anything on their website as of yet. The executive order just came out yesterday. So we are working with what the executive order says and what we think is going to be happening to give you just kind of an idea of what could be happening on March the 14th. Will, this person is asking, are there certain jobs or openings to avoid during the pandemic?
To avoid, I thought that's probably just comes down to individual preferences and health status. I mean, working in America is it's a very safe country to work in from an OSHA standpoint. So that's just comes down to what you're passionate about. And it's understood that if you've got someone in your household that's compromised or something like that, that you're better off staying at home. But for those that can work, I believe it now is the time to get out there. We all have skills, and those skills have to be maintained. And the longer you sit on the sidelines, those skills do diminish. And there's a long-term worry of being chronically unemployed. And that's kind of what the government is. They're in a balancing act right now of understanding that we're in a pandemic, but also what does life look like once the public health crisis is gone and getting people back to work. And right now we're in a transition.
All right, we're going to continue to take your questions. We've got one last segment coming up, and we'll be right back.